Matt Miguez has plenty on his mind, and he's ready to share it with the world. It's time to hear the Miguez Mindset.
Welcome into another edition of the Miguez Mindset here on ESPN 103.7 Lafayette and 104.1 Lake Charles. Matt Miguez here. Happy holidays to you and your family. But you know what the holiday season means in the world of sports is bowl games, and big bowl games at that. We've got the ReliaQuest Bowl with LSU and Wisconsin to preview. We're also going to preview the two national college football playoff semifinals happening on New Year's Day. We'll talk about those as well. Plus, we'll get into the New Orleans Saints trying to stay alive in the playoffs, facing off against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. First, let's start with the Saints. On Sunday, they'll travel to Tampa Bay to take on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, led by Baker Mayfield, who has had a resurgence over the last couple of weeks or so. This is going to be a very interesting football game because if you go back to their first meeting in October, the Saints never found the end zone. They only scored 9 points off of 3 Blake Grupe field goals and lost 26-9. Some people think that score was a little unindicative of how the game actually went, but again, the Saints offense struggled mightily, couldn't find the end zone, and gave up too many points late to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and ended up falling in that one, like I said, 26-9. They're going to look to right that this time on the road in Tampa Bay, needing a win if they want to stay alive in the playoff race, because the second you lose, you're out. If you're the New Orleans Saints, you have to win out and get some help from the outside. So we'll see what that looks like. Chris Olave limited in practice so far this week. Ryan Ramczyk back at practice. You are missing Lonnie Johnson and Jordan Howden, however, so that's going to affect the secondary. You already have Marshawn Lattimore out. So who's going to cover Mike Evans? Marshawn usually does a nice job of taking Mike Evans out of the equation for the Bucs, but who's going to take that role now? Probably Paulson Adebo, maybe Isaac Yiadom, who's played really well in spurts this year. We'll see how that plays out for the black and gold. But again, the big key is taking care of your own business, getting started hot offensively, and you have to win. There's no other way to sugarcoat it. If you lose, you're done. Your season is over. So the Saints have to win and win big in this game and against Atlanta, plus get some help from Carolina if they want to get into the playoffs. So a lot of things have to happen over the next 2 weeks. We'll see if they actually do. This game's taking place on New Year's Eve at 12 o'clock. Meanwhile, LSU in the ReliaQuest Bowl, also in Tampa, going to play in the same stadium just 24 hours later against the Wisconsin Badgers. Wisconsin 7-5. They run the ball really well. They have a good defense as well. LSU, again, there's some question marks. Jaden Daniels not going to play in this game as he's preparing for the bowl game. Garrett Nussmeier is going to get his first college start. What does that look like? Is he amped? Is he a little too nervous? Those are going to be some questions that have to get answered pretty early on. Malik Neighbors is closing in on the LSU record for receiving yards in a season. We'll see if he, or in a career, I should say, we'll see if he breaks that on Monday. He needs just 21 yards to break Josh Reed's record at LSU. But again, when you look at Wisconsin, a really strong running game, and again, a good defense as well. They're 7-5 in their first year under Luke Fickell. So we'll see what the Badgers look like on Monday against LSU. LSU's a heavy favorite in this game, and they probably should be. So we will see what that looks like. Again, pregame at 9 a.m. on New Year's morning, and kickoff is set for 11 right here on ESPN 103.7 Lafayette and 104.1 Lake Charles. And then you've got the college football playoff. The final 4-team playoff gets underway New Year's afternoon with the Rose Bowl. It's Alabama and Michigan. Look, Michigan's undefeated and had a great year with quarterback J.J. McCarthy leading the way, Blake Corum at running back. They have a good defense as well. Obviously, people are worried about the Jim Harbaugh situation and what that looks like for the Wolverines. Look, here's the thing. As good as Michigan has been all season long, they've never played an SEC team in 2023. And I think what's going to happen is, regardless of how good they have been, There's different levels to it. There just is. And Alabama's playing their best football of the entire year right now. So Jalen Milroe is going to come out. He's going to play well. Jace McClellan's going to run the ball well. You're going to get good play from the defense, especially Dallas Turner. And I think Alabama wins this game. I think Alabama's just going to be too much to handle for Michigan, and I think Alabama goes to the national championship game to try to win their bajillionth national championship, it feels like. So we'll see how that game plays out on Monday afternoon. And then Monday night in New Orleans, it's the All-State Sugar Bowl with Texas and Washington. This game's going to be the fun one. Quinn Ewers starting for Texas. He's injury prone. He's been hurt at several points this year. What does that look like? Because Malik Murphy entered the transfer portal. So if Quinn Ewers goes down, they're turning to Arch Manning. So we'll see what that looks like for the Longhorns. Again, a really high-powered offense, good defense as well. Steve Sarkisian really has the Longhorns firing on all cylinders. And then on the other side, Washington, Kalen DeBoer might be the most underrated coach in college football. He's a coach that has had massive success, obviously 13-0 at Washington, but some people still might not know who he is, which is crazy. Eddie Robinson Coach of the Year award winner. The Huskies, led by Michael Penix Jr., they've been really, really good at several points this season. Dylan Johnson, their running back, he's had a great year as well. So this will be a very fun test. Texas's defense is going to get tested. Washington's defense is going to face an offense very similar to what they've seen with Oregon at several points this year. So that will be fun to see as well. And again, so much to play for with a spot in the national championship on the line. This is both Texas and Washington's first trip to the college football playoff. So we'll see how it plays out for those two teams down in the Big Easy. Going to be a great weekend of college football. Going to be a great weekend of NFL football as well, as the playoffs for the NFL are just 2 weeks away. So a lot of things have to shake out over the next 2 weeks before you get to the NFL playoffs. And then with college football bowl season coming to an end, New Year's Day, all the good games. You've got the Cotton Bowl this weekend with Ohio State and Missouri. You've got Oregon and Liberty. You've got Texas and Tennessee and Iowa. You've got some great bowl games coming up here over the next couple of days. So sit back with your friends and family, enjoy those games, and enjoy the college football playoff as well. We'll be back next week, technically next year, to review it all. So don't miss any of that. Make sure you like and subscribe. Follow us on social media at ESPN_SWLA. And like I said, we'll be back next week to recap the college football playoff. Hopefully the Saints are still alive for a playoff spot and much more right here on the Miguez Mindset on ESPN 103.7 Lafayette and 104.1 Charleston.